What up, nerds? My name is Leslie Smith. Welcome to the Nerdy Narrative. Today I'm going to talk to you about my experience reading Guy Gavriel Kay's A Brightness Long Ago. This is my second book by Guy Gavriel Kay. The first one I read by him was Tigana. I read that last year. Really enjoyed it. But one thing that I have learned about this author after reading two of his books is I can't just read it physically. Physical is my favorite way to read. It is the way in which I retain more. It allows me to stop and go back and make sure and see if I made any connections. But I can't do that with Guy Gavriel Kay. I have to have Simon Vance reading me the story. Now I can immersion read, but I just can't sit quietly and read. It's just written in a way, it is beautiful, but it's hard to read. I have to have someone breathe the life into the characters for me. I need to have a depth of feeling in the heard word that goes with the print, if that makes any type of sense. So he's not one I can just sit and read. So A Brightness Long Ago came out in May of 2019, and in 2020 it was the Locus Award nominee for Best Fantasy Novel. Today we're going to talk about my experience reading it. Do I think it deserved that nomination? Spoiler alert, I'm definitely in the minority. This sucker has over 5,000 ratings on Goodreads with an average a little bit over of 4 stars. I put this one at a middle of the road. I have no intention of ever rereading it. There is nothing I really loved about it except character moments, which Guy Gavriel Kay is just amazing with writing moments between characters that you will remember forever. There are lots of memorable moments here that I can just sit and go through. They're cataloged here, but do I want to read the whole book again for those moments? No, I don't. What is this book about? So it is told from the perspective of Danio, the main character. There are a couple of times where another character, Adria, we get her point of view very briefly, but I want to say it was literally only 2 or 3 times that happened. Danio is an old man who is looking back on his life and telling us the events that took place and how if he had just simply made a different decision here or here or here or here, his life would have been very different. And I have to wonder if that was the gist of the story. There was a quote from Danio: "The random spinning of fortune's wheel, it can sway us, change us, shape or end our days." And there were so many times throughout the story where good luck or good fortune was instrumental in how Danio chose his next path or made the decision to do what he did next. He was very clever. I really enjoyed how he navigated certain things that happened. I will say that Guy Gavriel Kay did something I don't believe has ever happened to me before. There was a horse race that happened in this story, and it was probably the most exciting horse race I have ever read about. My favorite part, no question, absolutely loved it. For me, it was really confusing at first until several chapters in when I finally understood it was Danio telling us the story. I didn't pick up on that. If I had read the back of the book, I would have known that going in. That probably would have helped. So I reckon I need to break myself of not reading blurbs, because in this case it would have been very helpful. In a couple of other cases recently, it would have allowed me to understand that I would not want to read that book and would kept me from picking them up and then DNFing them. I digress. Quite simply, I feel this was a love story. Danio was born the son of a tailor, but he had some great opportunities come his way which allowed him to rise above his station in life, and he ended up in the service of a count who was nicknamed the Beast. This dude was bad news. We also have Adria, who is a young woman who she meets Danio because she has come to this count's castle with the express purpose to kill him. Now, Adria is from a noble family. She's very highborn, but she has chosen to work for her uncle basically as a spy. Very exciting. Her chapters were so exciting. I love reading about her. She wanted to be something more. She wanted to live an exciting life. She loved being in disguise and having the opportunity to live as men did in that time. She often disguised herself as a man to have that freedom. This book is their story, how they meet and help one another and separate and then chance upon to meet again, and how their choices in life, what it led them to. I enjoyed it, but it's not one that was so good that I've wanted to read it again. 9 times out of 10, I finish a book and I'm immediately going, I can't wait to reread that one. I don't think I missed anything out of this one, or it's not something I want to go through again, because the interactions between Dania and Adria were wonderful. I love those. All the stuff in between to get there just wasn't that compelling to me. So I would say, if you have not read Guy Gavriel Kay and you want to try him, this is not a good starting point in my opinion. I would say go with Tigana, because I read that one as my first, absolutely loved it. But I also say get the audiobook and get it from your library. Try it for free. He's one I don't think everybody will love. I think he's one of those authors that still fall into the classic authors. His type of storytelling still has that 90s feel for it, and it's not quite purple prose. It's kind of lavender, but it's just one of those that not everybody's going to jive with. So I would say get it from your library, and definitely let Simon Vance read it to you on the audiobook, because I think that's just the way to go for him. Have you read this book? What are your thoughts? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Hit me up in those comments down below so that folks who maybe haven't read this book or haven't read Guy Gavriel Kay can make a properly informed decision. I liked it. I'm glad I read it once. Guys, that's gonna do it for me today, talking about Guy Gavriel Kay, A Brightness Long Ago. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found something useful that will allow you to help in making the decision on whether or not this book or this author is one that might be for you. Take care and have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you in the next one.